Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Hopefully, there's a little bit of lag on the video. Oh gosh! But guess what? It looks like Tesla is. All right, I think back now. A little bit of a on the video there. But Tesla is basically in talks to build a factory in India. It looks like that's what it looks like, and they may build up to 500,000 vehicles a year. That would be amazing if this happens. Uh, that is going to be a very big deal. Let me just check my audio, make sure that's okay. Well, it's not the greatest. Let's see if I can get. Yep, there. I think that's a little bit better. A little bit better audio there on that. So sorry about that problem. But anyways, Tesla's looking to build 500,000 new vehicles a year in India. That would be amazing. I'm not sure exactly where those would be sold. My guess is probably Europe. They're probably trying to hedge their bets with their China operation in Shanghai if there's some trade friction. So kind of giving them an option. I've also heard that they're going to be building a plant in Monterrey, Mexico, and of course that's going to support their operation in Austin. So they've got the Gigafactory in Austin. They've got the Gigafactory in Shanghai, and I think that the Berlin operation is going to come along soon. Not sure exactly on that, but needless to say, they're very much expanding. They're very much in the expansion mode, and we'll see how it works. I mean, we'll see what happens. But I think that it probably is going to be bullish for their stock. Let's take a look, kind of at a slide here that I have on Tesla stock, kind of showing you the pullback. And this is one of my static slides. I'm trying to use it. I'm using a little bit different software right now, but basically what's happening is it looks as if we're getting a pullback to the 21-day exponential. This is a good place to buy something. By taking a look at this chart, you'll notice that there is the higher high, the next higher high out there is about 313. So that's basically, if you look in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see that. So I do think we're going to get a bounce here on Tesla, but who knows? Who knows? It definitely, it definitely could run the other way. But that's kind of what it's looking like to me. I think we're going to get a move higher. We got a little bit of a move higher today, and yeah, so interesting. So let's look at the overall market. Basically, we are in an uptrend, and things are starting to move out and move up faster. The S&P 500 was up 0.85%. The Dow Jones up about 0.14%, but the Nasdaq, and that's the real winner here, up 1.6%. If we look at the chart for the S&P, for the QQQ, you'll notice that we've moved up significantly here. We've moved up significantly, and we're significantly above the 10-day line. So I do kind of expect it to flatten out a little bit here, but very nice action with regards to with regards to the Q. So hopefully it'll keep going. Take a look at the stock of the day really quick. That's on, and I did buy some on today. I did buy on. Didn't quite get it at the right. I bought it a little bit high. The buy point, it was up significantly, but then it pulled back. Here's how I bought it. Basically, the buy point from the cup with handle entry was 33.50. 58. That was the buy point. Now, I didn't buy it at the buy point. I wish I did. I mean, that would be great if I did, but I didn't do it. I bought it at 33.98, which isn't really extended, but it's, you know, it's getting there. If you could look at you're looking at here, you'll notice that it's about a little over 6% from the line here, which is the 21-day exponential line, up to kind of where it settled, where I bought it. So I bought it a little bit high, but you know, hopefully it'll work. Would have been better if I had been able to buy that within that, but I'm within 5% of the buy point, 33.58. So I'm within that, but obviously the better place to have bought it would have been a little bit closer to the 21-day moving average. We're going to see what happens with it. It's pulled back a little bit, so who knows? I mean, who knows? But I definitely think it's set up very, very nicely. It was the stock of the day for IBD. Let's take a look at what I've got kind of currently, and all the positions are up today, so I'm pretty happy about that. We'll kind of move over here. Yeah, there we go. Tesla was up about 2.17% from where I had it. This is all as of the beginning of the day. Palantir was up. Allegro Microsystems just doing a phenomenal job. I don't know why it's working so well, but it is. Let's take I just want to take a gander at kind of the IBG chart on this one to see why this one is working. ALGM. I bought this one about 2 days ago. So I haven't had it all that long, and but it does seem to be working pretty well. So, you know, who knows? Hopefully that will be the case here. But let's take a look at that chart for ALGM. And I'm just going to go over here to yeah, there, Allegro Micro. There we go. So we can kind of see it there. Let's see. Yeah. Here's the Allegro Microsystems chart, and basically it closed, and this is amazing, it closed up 9.24%, breaking out of this base, and that's really interesting. Tremendous move here, up 4.36%. I don't know exactly why that was the case. Let's kind of look at a bigger chart, see if that makes sense. Right, and if I can get a bigger chart here for everybody. There we go. Yeah, okay. So this is going to give us, switch over to that chart. And this is kind of giving us the IBD chart on it. And as you can see, pulling it back here, what happened was, and this is what they call a base pattern. As you can see, this was the higher high, and then it pulled back almost to the 50-day moving average, and then once it got there, it started to make headway up. When you want to buy them as they're coming up very close to the you want to buy them as they move up through the base. This is a cup with handle, and then of course I bought it right here where it was relatively close to the 21-day moving average, and then today it took off. So that's a good place to buy something when you're looking to do that, is to buy it out of that base like that. Kind of look for that cup pattern, or maybe a cup with handle pattern. That's going to give you a real advantage when you buy something. That's going to give you a real advantage. So it's definitely, that's the kind of thing you need to be kind of on the lookout for. You know, you kind of on the lookout for. Let's look at that again, ALGM, and I'm gonna shift over to a different chart here, and that'll kind of give us a little bit different chart here. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, as you can see how it kind of comes through this base here, and then as it comes down, it comes up, and then kind of through, and then basically the buy point is right about there as it gets close to that 21-day line. That's why you want to buy within 5% of that 21-day line, and then if you're lucky, you get a bounce up like this, and that's exactly what happened. You notice how there's a volume spike there. So kind of interesting way of looking at things, and just kind of a interesting way to do it. All right, so let's get to your questions. Thank you for holding on for my little thing here. Let's look at Kava, Mr. Bull. I like that name, Mr. Bull. Let's look at Kava first and see. Let's see if I can get that annotation off. All right, so I'm just gonna go there. All right, so Kava. Now here's the thing about Kava. I didn't buy this one because it hasn't completed its IPO base yet, and that's a little bit that's a little bit concerning. So I'm gonna fill that chart. See, this is what happens when you get a relatively new issue like this. This is an IPO base, meaning that, see, this really hasn't, Kava has only come out really since the beginning, really the end of June, beginning here. So not out very long. Typically, the way when a stock comes out, that is what you'll see. Let me show you to everybody there on the Tech Talk. It'll come out, it'll pull down like this, and then it will move higher. Usually what will happen is it'll come in a U shape, and then where you want to buy it is as it moves above the U shape. Now, that would have been a good buy right there, but you notice how people bought that thinking that that was going to be the thing, and then immediately it slammed right down, back down to the higher high, 47.66. So would I buy this here yet? No, I think I would wait a little bit of time because it's got to kind of mature here a little bit, and then hopefully as it moves above that 47.66, that's where I consider buying it. I wouldn't really do anything up until that time, just because, well, that's just because just because. So basically, what you kind of have to look at here is that this is sort of it came out like this, went down, and then it's jumped back up, but then it's pulled back down right to the 47.66. So we're going to have to wait a little bit on this one. So this is a watch list stock really, and not a stock for not a stock that we probably want to buy yet. We want to kind of wait a little bit on that one, and then hopefully it'll come out, and it'll come out again. So I think that with Kava, really best to do nothing right now and just wait a little bit. Let's take a look at Boeing. Also, let's look at Boeing BA. And I don't have Boeing, but probably a good idea eventually to get it. I'm going to show you first take a look at the weekly chart here, and kind of see what's going on the weekly chart. So basically, here's the chart for Boeing. Here's what I don't like about it right now. We've come up above that 200-day moving average. We're definitely above that 200-day moving average. Let's get that on. Let's get put a horizontal line there, so we can see that. But basically, let's see if I can get that in there. Horizontal line. There we go. There's our horizontal line. So basically, what has happened is with Boeing, get that out of the way. Too many controls here. There. All right. So what's happened with Boeing is that it's just above that 200-day line. That's the black line that's coming down to the right. So I still am not. I mean, I can see it coming above here, but I'm still not ready to buy this yet. I just think it's time to wait a little bit to see if it moves better. Now I'm kind of zooming in here a little bit on it, but you'll notice that we're just there we go. Having a permissions issue. I'm sorry about that. But double bottom on Boeing. It's a watch list. I don't think it's a buy yet. I want to see the 200 move below that 50-day line. That's really what I want to see before we do anything here, because I just think that there's better merchandise right now out there. So it's just kind of something that we need to kind of be patient on. So I would watch list both of these, BA and Kava, right now. Yeah. So definitely would take that. All right. Hey, thanks, Maria. Your take on Bitcoin and Bitcoin-related stocks? Well, interesting enough, last year Bitcoin was touted as kind of the alternative for the stock market, but basically it hasn't worked out that way. Let's look at the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. GBTC. This one is sort of the go-to here. I'm looking at the weekly chart. Let's go to the monthly chart. Kind of look back in time a little bit here. This is basically the chart for GBTC, which is a proxy for Bitcoin in general. And sort of what happened is, initially it came out, of course, it went up strong, then pulled back, we formed a base, it topped here, and it's come back. So it's finally starting to make a move. Would I buy this here? Well, probably not. And the reason I wouldn't, again, is because you notice here, 2146, this is the 200-day moving average, and unfortunately, it is just barely above that. I want to see this 200-day line move below that 50-day line, and that's going to be properly stacked. Right now, we did have a golden cross, and this is really when the move. It's interesting. This is when the move in the tech stocks started to happen. Right out here. Let's go to the weekly so you can see this. The move happened. Basically, when the tech stock started to move, basically right here at the in the middle part of June, that's when Bitcoin moved as well. The interesting thing about Bitcoin, everybody touts it, and they say, well, it's an alternative to cash and everything. Not really. It's basically very similar in its action to the tech stocks. So if the tech stocks are moving up, Bitcoin is moving up typically. And as you'll notice, it's still trading below. This is the 200-day moving average. It's still trading below. That's how the 50-day line dived below the 200-day. That is not a good sign. That is what they call the death cross. It may change. It may come back up. But right now, Bitcoin is moving up, definitely. But the rally is weak based on these next lines. So I would probably not be buying Bitcoin right now. This is based on the GBTC, which is how I grade it. But right now, I think that yes, there's some good movement on some of the Bitcoin related stuff like Riot and stuff like that. But I just think that there's better merchandise right now. I really do, and I would probably stay out of this until it gets stronger. Now, if it gets stronger, then then we could probably do something. But I would tick out there right now just because it doesn't look as promising as it doesn't look as promising as it has been. So get my screen over here for everybody on TikTok. Thank you for bearing with my lousy setup, but it's what I got until I could get a direct connection. All right, TikTok is asking what is the what's going on with Tesla, and that's a good question. And let's take a look at that TSLA. Of course, I'm going to show you the live chart and see if you can get an idea of what's going on with Tesla. And I'm going to first start out with the weekly chart here, so we can take a look at that. And if you'll notice, there we go. There's Tesla. And see if I can move it over a little bit. I'm going to show you that. Let's go to the to kind of and move in on that a little bit. Here's what happened with Tesla. Tesla is huge move up for 2020. I mean, I personally Tesla in 2020. We rode it all the way. We pulled all the way back. Now we got to a point, and you can see the chart where it bottomed basically earlier this year. It bottomed at about 1.5. If we go to the week, you can definitely see that. So let's kind of look at that really closely. Bottomed right here at about 1.5, and it's since been moving higher. Now notice on this that we have these things properly. We've got the 200-day moving average and got the 50-day moving average above that. Then just recently, the 21-day exponential moving average, and then the 10-day moving average. So they're properly stacked right now. What you want to see when you're seeing a stock move higher. 250, 21, and 10. See that in that order because that definitely helps things. If you look at a little bit more, a little bit better view here, it's much more obvious. 200-day moving average is below. Then the 50-day is above that. That's great. The 200-day is what's happened is it's testing that 200-day at 21, but it's on that 10-day line. So right now it's very bullish. This is kind of a cup with handle. It comes right down to the 10-day line, bounces up there. So right now it's fairly bullish. It's a fairly bullish time for Teslas. I do believe it's going to move higher. Now the question is, where is it going to move? That's the real question. And if we look at these really carefully, with let's see if I can put this on there. This is the pivot. Let's see if I can put this on here for you. Let's look. Okay. Where is the pivots? Oh, it's in the annotations. I'm learning to use this, so I'm not the greatest at this. Let's see if we can put the pivots on here. No. I'm trying to find, yeah. Sorry not to have the arranged already. Pivot points. There we go. Well, these pivot points. Now, what do I mean these pivot points? Well, here's what happens. Right now, Tesla moved through the last pivot point was 450, 240. You see here. The next pivot point is way up here at 323.56. So every way in between a move higher, and move is going to get resistant at probably at about 323. Right, so basically, this is not a bad buy. The question is, how close, and you want this within 5% of this line. Now, I know that I'm going into a lot of detail here, but if I can put the percentage on here. Yeah, there we go. So let's take a look at the percentage change. Oops. Let's see if I can, yeah, percentage change. There we go. So basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to buy this within 5% of the 20 exponential moving average. And that's this green line here. So if we look at the chart on the daily, you'll notice currently we are 5.9% above this 21-day line. So this is not a bad place to buy. This would make a fairly entry, believe it or not, for Tesla. So we could possibly either two positions that we already have or buy here, because it does look like that it's going to continue moving higher, and next resistance is right up here at about 320, 328. So right now, probably a pretty time to possibly start looking at if you're starting a new position in Tesla or possibly adding to a position in Tesla. That's a great question, and I really appreciate it. All right, let's take a look at the S&P 500 Fed time story of that. Fed times. Okay, so let's look at the what I do when I look at the S&P 500 is I look at the ETF, which is called the Spider, SPY. It's the symbol for it, and this is the price for the S&P 500. It's actually an ETF that you can buy. So it's like you can buy the entire S&P 500 if you buy this particular ETF. So this is the chart of the Spider. So let's take a look at the chart really quick. Now the question is, what's going on here? We moved through it at 434, and we're getting roughly close to this resistance at 464.63. Okay, so right now probably would not be the best time to buy the Spider. Why? Because we're extended above that 1 day. Okay, now I'm back. I'm having a little bit of trouble with permits. I got to change some settings here. But basically, here's what's going on with the Spider. And probably you don't want to be buying the Spider right now, because the next pivot, the next resistance, is right here at 463. So we're very close to that, and we're starting to get a little bit of distance from the 21-day exponential moving average. So here's what I would do. I would wait on this one until we have above 463.33 on the Spider. I know I'm going into a lot of detail. It probably, but just safe to say, I think it's a good time on the Spider to just wait. Let's see if it holds above that pivot, and then go that way. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. All right, Lisa, thank you very much. Tata Motors has a monopoly in India. That's a good news. Well, it does, but here's the thing. Tesla looks like they're going to be building a plant in India. I mean, they're in talks to do it. It isn't a dead done deal or anything. Let's see if we have Tata. Let's see if I can get. No, I can't find Tata, unfortunately. I wish I could. I don't see if I can find it. Tata Motors. Let's see if it'll let me see it. No, it won't. Okay. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I do have it. That's interesting. Okay, well, I do. That's cool. Looking for that right now. Whew, that's not a bad chart. Okay. All right, so let's see if I got it there. Let's see that. Let's see it. For some, it's only allowed to do the. There we go. Okay. Well. All right, well. Okay. So it's just letting us see the spider. So basically, not working there. Okay. Well, shoot. Okay. All right. So. Yeah, it definitely has a monopoly, but here's the problem with the Indian market. It's a very regulated market. Tata is one of the biggest companies, but I don't know. It's I definitely think there is going to be a bullish move on it. But again, I would probably trade Tesla over Tata Motors only because only because of the size. I think, but Tata is good. If there's a deal for a Tesla factory in India, most likely they're going to have some kind of arrangement with Tata because they definitely have the political pull in the country. So it's going to be interesting to find out what happens there. All right, thank you very much. Is NVIDIA a short right now? Ooh, I don't know if I would want to short NVIDIA. I think I would. I'm I think NVIDIA, believe it or not, is going even higher. I don't think it's a good short, but let's take a look at it anyways. Let's just take if I can get the chart up here and bring in the chart of NVIDIA hopefully up here in just a sec. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I would short this one. This is the chart for NVIDIA. I just don't think I would be shorting this. I don't think that would be a wise move here. I really don't. Yeah, let's put it. Let's bring it up here. I'm learning how to use the charting software. You can tell, I'm not as good as I need to be. Let's pull it over for everybody watching on TikTok. Here's why I would not short. Here's why I would not short NVIDIA. You'll notice how it's staying right on this on 20-day line here, and it deviated much from this. The 20-day line is an upward trend, and so is the 50-day line. So I just don't think this is a short. It's gapped up here. There was a gap up, and now it's quite far above the 50 line. So I would not short this. I would absolutely not short this here, based on seeing. But eventually we might get an opportunity. But typically you don't want to short a stock unless it's breaking down, and definitely is not. It's not breaking down. The stock is not breaking down, unfortunately. So it's not a good short. You don't want to be short NVIDIA. I think it may even go higher. More than likely it will. All right, any thoughts on big tech weight balancing? This is a great question. Thank you. Yes, the Magnificent Seven, and that's what we're calling it now. As you know, because of the amount of weight that Microsoft, Apple, Google, Meta, I'm trying to think of the other ones, they're going to rebalance the Nasdaq 100, which is represented by the QQQ. So the influence of these mega cap stocks is going to be reduced, but I don't think that's going to have a lot of. I don't think that's going to have a lot of effect in terms of the index. So this is why it's probably, at least for right now, it's more important to be in the leading stocks than in the index. It's going to dampen the performance of the QQQ. That's definitely what's going to happen. but the other stocks are going to continue to do well. And this is one of the reasons why I'm, at least for right now, I'm fairly bullish on Tesla. Why? Because, well, it's moving into the $1 trillion club potentially, and that's a big deal because there's just a very few stocks in the world that are that big. And yes, it won't be as much of a factor in the QQQ. They want to lessen the effect on the QQQ because the problem is, these 7 stocks so dominate that the QQQ and the NASDAQ 100 has become much more volatile than it is. Most people that invest in indexes, they want it to be, slow and steady with the rate. So that's one of the reasons for doing this rebalancing. And so it will be less volatile. But I mean, that's the only thing. But that's the only real thing that's going to happen here. All right, let's look at Teladoc. It's a Dallas company, believe it or not. Let's see if I can get Teladoc here. All right, there we go. I think we're back. Let's see if we can Teladoc. I'm not really liking Teladoc. This is the quote that I have on Teladoc. Let's see. That's a little bit. Here's my problem, Teladoc. My problem with Teladoc basically is that it is just too of a stock. Currently, let's get that up there a little bit. It's got 23. This is not what we want to see with that. We want to see a relative strength, is 25. Now we have this long decline in stock. Let's see if I get the. Let me see if I can get the right up here. Yeah. Here's a little bit bigger chart. There we go. All right. So basically, this is a chart. This is the sort of the simplest chart here. Take a look. It's below that black line. That's the 200 average. Real one. I mean, yes, may come up, may get stronger. The relative strength is 23 now. It's moving up, and there is some exception in it, but I think it's too hard to share. I would just leave this one line. Because look at that chart. This is the weekly chart here. This is the weekly chart. As you can see, it just moved lower. Yes, it might turn the corner, but I wouldn't even touch it until it got to about 34. I shouldn't touch it. Starting to pick up. I'm not a buffer. It's kind of moving up nicely. The thing I would not touch until it's above. That's the 200-day exponential moving average. I don't want to buy anything below that. I don't want to buy anything that's kind of going down. Just not something really that you want to be. Now, on the other hand, stocks that we want to be taking a look at, and one of them might be over microsystems, LGN. This one, see the difference in that chart? That's moving up. So that's 200. Look at how the strength is 97 on that one. This is electric microsystems. The one I bought 2 days ago, and we're moving the base. This is the kind of chart you probably want to be in more than more than the chart that we showed before. This would be a better chart all the way together. So thoughts on Teladoc? I think you just got to let it wait. I mean, I just think that it's not ready yet. Never come back. You never know until it opens. Buttons. There we go. I got my permissions on my Mac. I don't know. There's software glitch with the permissions, and I don't know what it is. I think it's the update that I just put on the system. I just updated it. It's a permission error problem. So let's see if I can jump over just to the window. That's probably the easiest way to. Yeah, there we go. All right. There we go. We're back. We're back. All right. Let's look at the chart on the weekly basis. It's just a terrible chart. I mean, look at that thing. It's just going straight down. Not what we want to see. And if we look at the monthly, go back further, just not really great. It came all the way up here. At one time, it was $800, and it's since COVID, it's not happening. So I wouldn't be interested in the Teladoc chart. It just doesn't look good. So probably don't want to do anything there with Teladoc. All right, let's look at some other stuff. ALGM for Charles. Hey, ALGM. Let's look at that. There we go. And this Allegro Microsystems. This is the one that I did buy on Monday. This one on Monday. So kind of a nice chart. Now we're looking at the monthly. Let's go back to the daily on. Let's see. I'm having an issue with my. Let's see if I can switch to a different mic. There, I think that's probably going to work a little better. Let's see if we can get our. Okay. So what? At least I got the mic. Again, permissions error. This is the Allegro Microsystems chart. It's just really moved up since May. We're definitely above this. We're definitely right here. We're right here above the above the cup. I definitely think this one, it's a little extended probably right now. Let's see how far away it is. I'm just going to look to see where we are. All right. See how far we are above the higher high. So we're pretty far above that higher high, I think. So that is a significant a significant amount. We're basically a little over 7% above the cup. So right now we're extended on ALGM. So we could add here if we could add, but we really couldn't start a new position. So unfortunately, you can't really start a new position. Where I bought it was right about here, right as it was coming. It was coming right below the pivot, but the pivot's right there. So unfortunately, I don't think we can buy. I don't think we can buy that one. So just the way it is. Okay. Suggesting a stock for the Iron Condor. My question, Charles, is why do you want to do an Iron Condor? I know I'm not trying to be we're in an upward trending market. Typically, when you use an Iron Condor, The iron condor are used for markets that are going sideways, and currently the market is going up. So what I think you might want to look at is not an iron condor. I think you might want to look at something like a bull call spread or a bull put spread. And I think a bull put spread, a bull call spread on Nvidia might work very, very well. But I don't think you want to do an iron condor in this type of a market. Just my opinion. All right, Adobe. Let's look at the next resistance for Mr. Moshe. Let's look at the resistance on Adobe, ADBE. And what we're going to do here is, hopefully I'm going to get this to work. I'm hoping it's going to work. I'm going to put the I'm going to put some of the what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the resistance points in here. Hold on. There we go. Okay, we're finally back with the camera. These are the pivots for Adobe. The question is, where's the next resistance? And it's hopefully going to let me do this. All right, there we go. You'll notice that the pivot, the pivot, and it's really pretty obvious. You look at the chart, but the pivot for the 473, 474 right there. The next resistance 579. So that's the resistance, and basically we're currently at 517. So we've got a little room. We've got a bit of a room to the next resistance. If we were to look at that in terms of the percent, from there to there we would be. Let's put it right on there. So we've got about 2% to go, as you can see, about 2.151 to get to the next resistance. So we have the lower part of the range, the range that we're looking at, and by the way, this is how stocks trade. They kind of do in steps. What to happen is it'll step, and then it'll trade in this range. It'll step up, trade in this range, step up, and we really up here in the trading range. This range is about 11.57. We're currently right up here, almost at the top. So we have moved up pretty significantly, as you can see. So we have we just have a little bit left until we get to this next resistance. Next is 579. So basically, it's probably going to come up to about 579, and then if it has enough power, we'll move above that, but likely it won't. It'll tap out. So with Adobe, basically we're looking at a little, we've got a little bit to go. We've got about 3 more percent, but since that's an expensive stock, that might work very, very well. But we're basically in this range. The range is about 11.63%. We're currently about at 85%. We're all the way up here, and so we have a little bit more to go. But that's a great question. Thanks for that. And yeah, that's what we have to do on there. Okay, Brad, FTI, and you bought 13. Interesting. All right, let's look at FTI. See if we can come up with something decent there. There we go. Wow. Okay, you bought 13. Let's see where the next resistance is. Interesting. Okay, so there is. Okay, looking at this. Okay, you bought 13. So you bought it below the. Okay, so we're above. We've moved to the next level, and we're above 15. So we have all the way. We have a pretty long way to go, all the way up to 19. So we have about 4 to go. So we're about way in between. So that's looking fairly good. That's looking fairly good. And you bought 13, so that's very, very good. Here's what I would do on this one. If it can't push through this 1922, then light's going to fall. I set my stop right here at 1582. That's where I set it. 1582. It falls below there. We're going to reverse direction, and it's not going to be in an upward trend. It's going to be in a downward trend. So that's where we want to set our stop loss there. So 1582 for the stop loss, and I think you'll be pretty happy with that. All right, I'm almost done here. Sorry for the technical glitches. I should have worked on the permissions before I did everything. Let's see if we can take another question from TikTok, and then well, like one more. All right, what stock is this? This is that was CE. That's called FTI. It's a FMZ PLC. So it's a British stock. Okay, stock. Let's look at a stock that's better than that one. Cheap. It's Palantir PLTR. Let's take a look at that for our last stock here. Let's see if there's any opportunities with Palantir. It moved up very nicely today. This is Palantir. Let's see if I can. So this is Palantir. Here we're in a range. This is the pivot right here, and it looks like going to hit the next pivot, basically right here at about 1714. So we're almost. If we can move beyond this, this is probably going to move higher, and then I think it's going to happen here with Palantir. So if it moves above about 1714, that's going to give us an opportunity to buy it. So because it'll move to the next pivot. Okay. So right now. Right now it's an upward trend. I think this is, if you want a low price stocks, I know a lot of people like those low price stocks. This is one I want to take a look at, Palantir. All right. Well, thank you everybody. Thank you very much for bearing with me and my technical issues here. I'm back tomorrow, Friday. I'll be back tomorrow. But until that time, if you could, it would really help us out. If you could smash that like button, and that would really help us. So smash that like button, and we'll be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock with any of your questions. Until that time, we all have the action. You can get on that. That's our mailing list. Super easy to do. Just jump on over to www.Dallas Trading Floor. So remember, smash the like button, sign up at www.Dallas Trading Floor, and we'll be back tomorrow at 5. Thank you so much, everybody, for taking a look. Tell your friends about it. Please share if you can. If you could share any of these charts with anybody, that would be great. Take all the requests that we possibly can, and hopefully we will see you back here tomorrow. And we're in an upward trend. It's time to get invested in the market. It's looking really good. We got some opportunities here. I'm going to try to show you the best entry points that I possibly can, and kind of what I'm doing, and along with a good, bad, ugly. So thank you very, very much, everybody, for taking a look, and we will be back tomorrow again at 5. Thanks, everybody. Happy trading.